All right, everybody, welcome. Today I'm going to do a reading for the collective based on my placement in your reality. So maybe you watch a lot of channels, maybe you don't watch any channels. Either way, I come in a specific frequency. So remember, if you're listening to this, it's meant for you. However, it's meant for you through me. I like to remind people to listen to the reading, not to the reader. And if that's difficult for you, that's fine. We all have things we're working through. Now, this is going to be a shorter reading. I've already drawn the cards. I like to do a 3-card spread with 1 card for clarification. So I like to do a main message in the middle, and then on either side, I do what I call opposals. Now, these are not always opposite meanings, rather, they are different ways that you can see the main message, or maybe different choices being offered to that main message, or possibly even mm, two different influences pulling on that main message. So let's see here. Today for my main message, we have lust, sometimes called strength. And what I get from this card just in general is the thing you want, the thing you would have if nothing stood in your way. So, for me right now, the thing I'm really just desiring is freedom. Just the ability to relax and not have to be somewhere at some time. And yeah, that's something that I really want. But I know some people really want to succeed at something, or they really want to change something in their life. They want to accomplish a goal. Oftentimes, lust can be a goal oriented card. For me, it definitely represents more a state of not the achievement itself, but the feeling that comes once achievement has been reached, which for me is a relaxation. I think the ability to release, the ability to forget is far more satisfying than sort of the pride aspect of lust. I think some people look at that like the Oscar or the Emmy, the award, something you can hold up, show others, and say, look, I did it. I made it. I've, done this thing. So it could be either of those things coming for you. My beautiful collective. I gotta talk like a tarot reader. So that's my main issue. That's what's coming through as the focus right now. It's the thing you want, the thing you're looking for, and then that feeling of reaching that state. Um, Both of those are present in this card. It can be simply the desire for the thing, the drive, the striving, or it can be that feeling of attaining the thing. Both are present. Okay, so then for my right hand opposal, we have Adjustment, which is also called judgment. Now, I see this card as representing a tipping point or an inflection point. And since this is in relation to lust, I would say this has to do with the point between the wanting and the having, the place where you know you have to keep striving to attain, and the place where you know you can release. Now, this card is in the reverse, so to me, that would point towards being in a place where you haven't yet accomplished this thing that you want. So I would say this is not pointing towards your manifested desires, the things that you're hopeful for, but this is pointing towards, um, or rather, this is something you're hopeful for, rather than the things that you've got on lock. Like, for me, like today, I haven't gone to the grocery store yet. And it's okay if I don't. I can go tomorrow. But it's lingering there. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, yeah, I want to get those things, but they're pending. It's not imperative. Once I have them, there's a certain level of, okay, now that's done. Now, for you, you may be wondering, how will I know when I've got the thing? Or is it ever coming? And, I think nothing's guaranteed. We really don't know what's coming our way. We don't know what we're allowed to receive. However, I do think it's important, as much as you can, to identify in yourself what you want and what you're working towards. So, yeah, that's on our right hand side. We have adjustment, looking for that tipping point. And then on our left hand opposal, we have Eight of Cups, which in this deck is called indolence. And indolence is associated with a level of inaction, but it's inaction after a period of action. So it shows reaching a stage of development where it's like driving, and like if you forget to fill up with gas, you reach a point where you can't go any further until you address that issue. Like, you stop. You've been in action, and that action has led you to a point of inaction due to another inaction. So, indolence, I think sometimes people point this card towards the act of neglecting to fill up the tank, and I don't see it that way so much. I don't think this is the missed action. Rather, I see the stillness of the lack of drive. And I think it's okay to run out of drive, to run out of fuel in the pursuit of this desire. And I think that in that sense, seeing this card opposed to adjustment in reverse, it shows me that, rest is needed. And since, like I said, for me right now, this lust is actually for rest, for freedom. Um, in a sense, that need to fill the tank with gas is a restriction, but also the inability to continue is another form of restriction. And so, in that sense, I guess, yeah, if you want to keep driving, you got to get gas. And if you don't get gas, you can't keep driving. So, if there's a way to take the rest before running out of gas, that's important. Stop. Don't forget to stop. I think that's the key in this reading. It's saying, maybe you can't go all the way on one tank, and it's important to break this journey up and to know that stopping, especially if it's stopping for gas, is valid and useful. And sometimes stopping before you need gas, not to get gas, but just to stop on the way, can be a very freeing experience. I think sometimes when we're on a road trip, we only stop when we need to, and that actually keeps us more time bound than if we took occasional breaks when it felt right. I think that's the key. Maybe you're driving and you see an exit that just feels good. Maybe you're not hungry, maybe you don't have to use the bathroom, but maybe something just feels right about that exit. Take it. Park somewhere. Find a parking lot that feels good. Maybe it's the Walmart. Maybe it's the Walgreens. Who knows? Maybe it's a little shop you've never seen. So check it out. Do things outside of your schedule, outside of your routine. And yeah, I think those kinds of choices can take you a lot further in the pursuit of your desire by offering you opportunities and information and experience that wouldn't come to you if you were just on your strict, here's where we're going, here's our time of arrival, here's the bare minimum stops we can do just to get gas. That's what I'm getting at least from this reading right now. So, yeah, we've got lust as our main issue, focusing on what we want and the feeling of what having that thing means to us. Why do we want it? What about it do we want? And then in opposition, we have adjustment in reverse and indolence. And now it's interesting to me. Lust is a very fiery card, but very water. Lust really has all the elements except air present. It's very much a mixture of water, fire, and earth. That's what it feels like. Magma. It feels like this wet, hot, fluid object. It's like unseen but felt. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And yeah, swords in air are often identified with vision. And so I think it's important to see lust as something unseen, something felt and known, and something heavy in the body, something that, whether it calls to us or we're calling out to it, um, it's magnetic. It's a It's a felt presence. And then, yeah, adjustment, we have a single sword in the middle, which brings us that air energy, that thought. And so, again, I'm looking at this card as sort of the test or the qualification of how do I know when I'm there or not? How do I know? And that's where I would say feel into, again, that feeling of what is it you want from your desire? Is it to have it and hold it? Or is it to release yourself from the striving towards it? And then again, so we have that test, that qualification in opposition to the sort of forced rest. So, yeah, that's interesting. So, we have this forced rest, this premature stop that echoes the release of the lust, but the indolence doesn't allow for release because we still have to keep going. So, yeah, I guess that's it. So, if you can stop by choice before you have to stop, that's a good way to know that you are on the way. And if you have to stop before you get there, you still know you're on the way, but now you have to focus on how to get started again. So, yeah, I'm seeing give yourself freedom, permission to stop before you have to stop and before you reach your goal. Give yourself little respite on the journey. And yeah, pay attention to what you want from the thing, and that will help you know when you're there and how to hone in to arrive at your target. Yeah, and then interestingly, I have as our fourth card to clarify this whole issue, we have the Hermit. And Hermit is an interesting card in relation to this because he holds a lantern in a dark place and yet closes his eyes. So he's not using the light to see. Rather, it's like a paradox to, in some ways, expose himself to be seen and yet almost to spurn light and vision and to say, what I seek cannot be seen. And that really relates to me with this lust card right now. I think it's important to close your eyes and feel what's coming up, what's coming out, what are you drawn to. And I think that can't be done with eyes open. Um, yeah, like be the hermit and close your eyes, but shine the light so you can be seen by those things that lust for you. And look for your desire in the dark place because it's holding a lantern. Like, you don't need to shine your light to find it. It's gonna be the brightest thing in that room. You already know what it is, and it's waiting for you because if it's not waiting for you, you'll never get it. If it's waiting for somebody else, your efforts are in vain. There's no point in wanting what you can't have. Although I will say, wanting what you can't have can be a way of identifying that true lust. What is it you want about what you can't have? I think when you can find that and identify that, you'll come to know what you really want, and then you can see the ways in which you can have that. So, yeah, everybody, thanks for coming by to this reading. If you didn't know, you should probably like and subscribe. Guess I'll be seeing you.